Before you start building your own AI agency, I want you to take a moment and seriously ask yourself, are you ready to stop trading dollars for hours? Because this is your opportunity to do that. But I see so many people who are so used to this traditional work method, right? Where you go to work and you get these dollars. Throw that out the window. This is your chance to break free. Take that really seriously. I hope you can take in what I am about to share and truly build a life where your income is separate from your time and you have time freedom, right? That doesn't mean this isn't going to be a lot of work, but it is a new way to create leverage in your life and in your income. So it's an exciting time. And I just want to make sure everyone's starting off on the right foot. So let's get rolling. So we've already asked ourselves, are you trading time for dollars or are you trading value for dollar? Are you trading what you can bring to your client, what you can save them in time and money and revenue and stress? Or are you putting an hourly wage on that? Because again, we want to build something that's actually going to pay off a lot more. That's that leverage factor, right? So your dream may be to launch an AI agency that's going to hit a $10 million valuation someday, right? And even if it's not that high, hey, aim for it. And even if you fall short, you're among the stars, right? Or at least like at a $5 million valuation, which is possible. This is all very possible, okay? We are at the beginning of this gold rush. You got to get in there though. So you launch this to build something big, not only in your life, but to serve your clients, right? Only 3.7% businesses are incorporating AI right now. That's like small local businesses. And today is 10, 22, 25. That's minuscule. So not only are these businesses losing, revenue and opportunities, they're not serving their clients at the highest level, right? No one likes calling the plumber, not knowing if they're ever going to get back, if they can help, whatever. This is your chance to solve that problem. And that's worth a heck of a lot. But even as we are this early in the AI journey, I'm seeing a lot of people make the same mistakes I've seen in other agency structures in the past, because I've been around since the time of, social media marketing agency and website design and SEO. And what can happen is, you get a client and then you're so busy delivering on that client. When you finally, are done, you don't have the next one. And it's this vicious cycle of feast or famine. Now, this would be a silly thing to do with AI because AI can fix this problem for us. Not only can it do a lot of the work, but when we're putting systems in place, it can bring that work to us. So it's kind of fun, right? So we don't want to build another job. We want to be building leverage. And frankly, a lot of founders never escape this trap. But the ones who do, they understand the 3 universal friction points that kill 90% of agencies of any form, and then they systematically eliminate them. So join me for the elimination. And if you'd like, go ahead and please hit like, subscribe. There's an AI aptitude test below. If you want to learn what kind of AI agency is best for you, go ahead and try that. But first, let's get through that. There's an AI agency aptitude test below this video. I encourage you, when the video is done, take it and then post your results below. I'd love to hear where you fall. Okay, so trap number 1, the debugger-for-hire. And they are building on a technical black box. Maybe that is one of all these fancy snapshots that you can get for Go High Level, which can be complex and fragile, or even incomplete. Really just anything that you didn't build yourself from the ground up and don't know all the pieces to. So when it breaks, everything stops. And that's a really stressful place to be, right? Where you're scrambling to figure out what went wrong, no real idea. And it's having this ripple effect. It's affecting your clients, your business. If it's sending out a Zoom link that's broken and you can't figure out where to update it, that's a problem. Now you're the one throwing advertising dollars at the wall and having them just bounce right off, right? Just might as well throw them in the fire. If we're giving Mark Zuckerberg any dollars, I want you to get an ROI. So what's the fix? Prioritize verified and modular asset. We don't want complexity. We want simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid. I say that to myself all the time, but in a loving way. So you either want to build or find systems that are designed for simplicity. Use proven templates, use proven components, test them, document relentlessly, and simplify the technical path. So you're building on rock, not sand. The best builders don't chase the flashiest AI or newest infrastructure. They choose boring, reliable technology that scales without constant intervention. They're aiming for resilience over cleverness. I know it's hard to restrain yourself sometimes, but I believe in you. For your own sanity, take that advice. The next trap is the leaky bucket of churn. And this comes from being a jack of all trades, master of none. It's the generalist death spiral. And this isn't just the case in AI, right? This is true across all industries. And you've probably heard it before. But who makes more money? the general dentist or the endodontist, your primary care doctor or the dermatologist. What are some other examples that don't have to do with skin or teeth? The handyman or the HVAC specialist. When you're saying yes to everyone, you're not going to be able to serve anyone at the highest level, including yourself. Because if every client has different needs, different integrations, different success metrics, you're going to end up doing custom work for every single engagement. Everything you learn in that learning curve isn't going to be transferable. No economies of scale, no repeatable processes. These are things that break the heart of AI specialists. If you're not building authority in any one market, you're going to have high churn because you're not deeply solving any specific problem. You're just another vendor. I mean, are you loyal to your pizza provider? Or do you just go with wherever the best deal is of that week? The flashiest pizza. Do you have shiny object syndrome with pizza? It's okay. This is a safe space to admit that. And you're not a pizza shop. You are a specialist. You have the skills. You just need to make sure that people see you as such. And that's up to you. Because when you're stuck in that trap, you're not going to be building reliable monthly recurring revenue. You're constantly going to be educating clients from scratch. It's impossible to build case studies that resonate. And you have zero pricing power or market authority. You're selling pizza by the slice in New York City. You can get it anywhere. So what is a fix? I recommend choosing one high-pain need. Identify a market where one single AI asset provides predictable and high ROI. Build deep expertise. Become the best option. That's how you command premium pricing. That's how you reduce your churn to near zero. When your solution is mission critical and not just nice to have, you are in a winning position. Trap 3 is the founder as the bottleneck. And that can be a tough one. If you're in the space, you probably have a little, streak of perfectionist. And you have to. Attention to detail is obviously crucial when you're building systems like this. But I really encourage you to look at ways where you can hand off duties, automate them, create SOPs that make everything run a lot more smoothly without you being involved in every single step. If you're the one who closes every deal because you're the face of the company, and then you manage onboarding because they know you and you know all the ins and outs and the little special touches, and then you handle fulfillment because what if there's something wrong, or what if this special unicorn needs something different? You end up in a place where every sale doesn't mean more freedom. It means more dependency on you, more Slack pings, more late nights, more stress. Your income grows, but so does your prison. Okay, that's a little dramatic, but we're going for time freedom here, right? And this is getting the opposite. So how do you solve that? You move to design decoupled from fulfillment from day one. Decoupled is not a word I use a lot, but I really worked hard on that for you. The most successful of any sort of business, and especially in the AI agency space, is going to be designing systems that work independently. That means productized offerings. Those are standardized deliverables with clear outputs and timelines. Process documentation. Every task mapped, every decision tree documented. Partner networks of vetted specialists who can operate without your overseeing them, and self-service tools like client portals or reporting tools that run automatically. This is how you scale through process, not payroll. We want AI to be our unpaid labor, or minimally paid because the subscriptions, But when you design for leverage, you can save your time, energy, intelligence, focus for things that are going to give you the greatest return. High value strategy versus low level execution. The goal is to build a self-sustaining asset that generates income without consuming your life. So when it comes to leverage versus labor, which way are you leaning? The answer is leverage. Okay. This is a strategic choice, and it needs to be a conscious choice. I'm hammering on this because it is so easy to get lost in the weeds or think, I just have to do this part of it, or, but if you really truly can sit down, document your processes, train someone so they can handle it the same way, it is so liberating. And you still have your finger on that pulse of quality control, but you can delegate way more than, I guarantee you can delegate way more than you would imagine, because labor doesn't scale. Your income is capped by your hours. Your agency is capped by your capacity. And you've built a high-paying job, not a leveraged business. Versus the leverage model, and I know I just used the same hand for both, but you know what I meant. When you're a strategist, you're designing systems and processes that others can execute. You can focus on the 20% of activities that drive 80% of revenue and results. This is where the real money is. So ask yourself, which role is your highest leverage? So if we're looking at really the three big roles within an agency, we have the builder who loves creating from scratch. Always makes me think of Bob the Builder, his little hammer. The integrator, who loves connecting systems, or the strategist who thrives on high-level thinking. And there's room for each of these in the way you design your agency. With the builder, you have your unique leverage. You could build modular, reusable assets once. Then you can license or deploy them repeatedly without building from scratch every time. Again, not everything needs to be super complex. There's value in even small processes. An integrator can leverage by creating standardized integration frameworks, partner networks, so fulfillment can run without them in the loop. And if you're more of a strategist, well, you focus on the niche selection, offer design, and partnership strategy. Let others handle the technical execution while you own the business model. But a lot of founders try to be all three. That's the most successful agency or, business owners in general identify their natural role and build systems to cover the rest. And again, you're in the greatest time to be doing this because we have all the tools. And if we're in AI, we're the specialists. So we have to be leveraging them. And that's the fun part, right? I think it's the fun part. Stay out of the trap. That's the fun part. All right. So what is the anti-grinder roadmap? Because I am anti-grind. I am a 44-year-old mother of 3. I am not a Chad, whatever that is. I don't have time to grind. I got kids to feed, places to be. I got a lot on my plate. So my mission is to figure out this leverage, to implement that in every piece of my life and business so I can get the results I want, both for myself and for my client. So with that, step 1 is choose your niche. And again, that can look different. It could look like the builder niche, right? Where you're creating one thing that could serve many people, like, some sort of app. It doesn't just have to be something like roofers as your niche. There are different ways to look at that. But pick one place with enough pain that AI can deliver a 10x ROI. Stop saying yes to everything and everyone. Specialization is a foundation of leverage. 2 is design your core asset. 1, verified modular system, boring, reliable, scalable. If I were to write a song, that would be the title, but I will spare you any singing. Don't worry. Step 3 is my favorite word, decouple fulfillment. I don't know why I kept using this word. It kind of sounds like an HR word, but what it means is to document every process. Build the tools, find the partners, remove yourself from the day-to-day execution. And then you get to 4, where you can scale with your niche locked, your asset proven, and your fulfillment decoupled. Growth becomes simple. Marketing, sales, and strategic partnerships. No more grind. Now, if you want to know what your highest aptitude role is, I encourage you to take the AI aptitude quiz, conveniently linked below this video. This free quiz will analyze your strengths, preferences, and working style to give you a personalized roadmap for escaping the grind and building a scalable business. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like, hit a like or leave a comment. Always appreciate that, and make sure you're